Hello, I'm Elaine Stevens, and I want to welcome you to Art Beat. Wow, Bananas Foster, all kinds of sweet goodie bars, and an array of cookies and cakes and cheesecakes like you have never seen before. Welcome to the world of art at the IP. Yes, I said the IP. We promised you all kinds of art here on Art Beat. Well, making pastries is an art unto itself. And as you'll learn, my philosophy has and will be, and so will yours be at the end of this show, that life is unsure. Always start with dessert first. That's what we're going to do today. So stay tuned for more Art Beat. I'm your host, Elaine Stevens. Welcome. Welcome back to Art Beat. We are in a studio of a different kind. You've heard of a horse of a different color. This is an art studio of a different nature, and it is the bakery here at IP Casino. I can always smile when I come in here, Alfred. One reason is because you're here. The other reason is because look what you've created here. It's unbelievable. Do tell everyone how it operates here at IP in this magnificent bakery.
Oh yeah, we're open 24 hours. At night we have the bakers bake fresh breakfast pastries for the morning. Right now we're making fresh fruit tarts for our infusion outlet in the lobby, where we can have our fresh fruit tarts, our sugar-free items, cheesecake, tiramisu, very good. And we're already working on Thanksgiving. Jasmine here, she's doing some pumpkin cookies.
So it is another type of art form, these culinary pastries that you create. I know you do such a magnificent job at the annual chocolate ball, but every day is a chocolate ball here at IP. I mean, right, because of what you're making. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but Alfred has a little bit of an accent, so I'm going to ask him about his background.
I'm born in Germany and I'm trained in Germany. We went for the apprenticeship for 3 years, and after that I went to Paris, France for a year. And then I went to the States and Canada and all over.
And we are so happy to have him here at IP. My weight and calorie intake is not exactly delighted, but other than that, everyone else is pleased. So when you come to work in the morning, how do you imagine what your day is going to be like surrounded by all this? I mean, what do you do first?
Many things are like routine. The buffet is very similar every day. The banquet business changes a lot. Like today was a very big day for banquets. We had 800 people. For tonight we've been working on. We had 200 people for lunch. So that kind of dominated our day today. And in between we fill in the things we need every day. On the weekend, Kelly Gorman, she always creates great specials for 32.
Yes.
And she's inspired all week by things she sees in the store or what. And
it's like working with Michelangelo, only with sugar.
Absolutely.
So how do all these wonderful people that we're surrounded by today come to you? I mean, do you audition them? How do you know they can keep up with your standards?
Many people have been here for a long time. We went through many changes since Katerina when we started until today. We went a long way. We added a lot to the variety. And almost everybody has been here for a long time. So they're part of the team. They know the expectations of the IP. They know the standard. And we haven't gotten any new people in the last 2 years
That's
or so. Yeah.
remarkable. I don't know if you can get the full scope of things here, but we're surrounded literally by the most amazing creations. It's hard for me to stand still. It makes me hyper just thinking about all this sugar, but it's so beautiful. Now, when you do a special kind of event, of which, as PR manager, sometimes I give you a special order and I tell you this is what I need, how do you conjure up some of the colors and the creations yourself?
It's never my idea alone. I ask people, everybody is good at something, and I ask people, what do you think we're going to do? And we put our ideas together and we write it down and take it from there. So I'm not
He's always been like that, everyone.
ruling.
He's a team player.
It's a team player, and everybody has good ideas. And if we put them together, we inspire each other and come up with something nice.
It's obviously very inspirational and very inspiring to be in your presence, Alfred. But I have to say that you are an award-winning pastry chef. You've run away with some really fantastic awards since you've been here at IP. So, needless to say, we are so proud to have you on staff.
Thank you.
Yes. So, anything coming up for the holidays that you can tell us about that would relate to some artistic creation that maybe a mother can do at home?
Yeah, our pastry chef George Cook, he's working on a gingerbread village. Yes,
George's famous village, I know.
That's right, he's very excited every year about. Last year it was huge. This year it's going to be more houses and smaller. We're going to put that out right after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving, yeah.
So do we have any monumental numbers you can quote to us as far as numbers of pastries and cookies and pies that are created in this bakery daily?
We do a lot of cheesecake. Last year I calculated the usage of cream cheese for the year, and it was 5 tons of cream cheese.
Did you say 5 tons?
5 tons of cream cheese we turn into cheesecake
my.
every year. It was last year. This year might be more.
5 tons.
We are using a lot of chocolate, partly because of our chocolate fountain in the lobby. But our chocolate usage is about 40 pounds of dark chocolate and 40 pounds of white chocolate a day.
40 pounds a day,
Yeah.
so that's a total of 80 pounds of
A day.
both.
A day.
A day.
And, that adds up.
Wow.
We buy the chocolate by the pallet, and chocolate is very popular.
Well, you know, of course we're a casino, so there's always this thing about having lots of money around and maybe someone taking a penny here or a penny there. So do you find anyone here, not that we do that, but do you find anyone here taking a cupcake or two out of the stash?
Well,
I would if I worked up here.
I encourage everybody to try things. So
Yes.
often Jasmine, she comes up with a lot of new things, and when she bakes it smells good, and like vultures swing around and try to get a first pick at it, but it's still hot. And no, we should try, and yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have to tell you, if you're looking at an artist's palette of color for the holiday season, when you come into the IP Bakery, it's right here before your very eyes. There's no one that's more talented in my estimation, since I crave sugar the way that Alfred is. So we're going to meet some more of the crew right after this message, so stay with us with more Art Beat. You may be watching Art Beat, but this week I'm eating Art Beat. We are here at the IP Bakery, and I am with my darling George Cook, who is creating another wonder of the world. As you can see, George is working on this beautiful autumn cake. So tell us a little bit about how this comes to you and how you create all this.
Just years and years of experience, you know, I mean, working in different bakeries and casinos and hotels, you just pick up different colors and ideas. And autumn colors, you can just catch them off the side of the road, you know.
Now, tell me how many hours it takes to make one cake.
How many hours?
Yeah.
This would take about 15, 20 minutes.
Well, see, that's why I can order a
That's
cake here at IP like this, and I can have it when I want it. Thank you, George. And I often do that to him, too. But
Oh,
now,
yeah,
I
which
see you
is-
say that you can decorate this cake within 5 minutes. So before this segment's over, you're going to be done with this.
Oh, I hope so. If not,
I don't get to it
I'll be
first.
considered a liar.
Well, now, I know, just judging from his accent, that he comes from New Orleans. So what is your background as far as your culinary expertise?
I actually started off with my own little bakery, donut shop, and worked my way into hotel business. And the rest is elementary. I never had no schooling like some chefs do, but I've worked around some of the best chefs, I think, in the country. So I learned actually from other people. To me, it's better, but I wouldn't recommend it to nobody today, you know.
So now, this team that we have here at IP, this team that Alfred and you work with, how does that compare with other places that you
Well, I think it's the best. I mean, everybody here has a role. Some of them do a lot more than others, but everyone here has their little art that they can work with, and pastries they're good at putting out. So we sort of spread the work around, and we always constantly try to train somebody to do something. But most of my girls right in here work for us right now can do birthday cakes, you know, and bake just about anything that exists.
I don't know if you can see the detail on this, but truly it's like little vines with grapes, right?
Exactly.
And purple flowers, and it's
Exactly.
just so wonderful. I'm just going to have to dig my finger in there before the show is over. But George, now I have to say that when a cake order does come in, of which there are many in one day at IP, how do you prioritize all those creations?
Depending on how difficult one is, you know. I mean, something like this, if it was due for 3 o'clock and I had a drawing due for 3, this would be last on my agenda. You know, because we have a lot of drawings going on, you know, and artworks like 3D cakes and stuff for wedding cakes. So you don't want to mess nobody's wedding anniversary up, you know. So.
Now, one of my first encounters with George was at Chefs of the Coast, and he had created a Charles Dickens stack of books.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget that. How did you come to create? I mean, it was made out of pastry. It's amazing. My sweetheart still talks about that. I think.
I just ran out of ideas and things to do, you know, and I happened to be on the internet looking at some books, and I decided to go with the books. You know?
It was amazing. It very detailed. And
But anyway.
Speaking of the detail, the Fabergé egg that we're looking at here, on this side of the counter, the work counter, is something that George won't even tell us how long he's spent on as you're
I really
completing
don't
that.
know.
Can we get a good shot of that? And it's something that he does research on. Now, do you do a lot of research on all of your creations like that?
Well, not really. Usually, I like to hope that the people that want something tell me what theme it is so I can have something to run with. But this particular idea came because I had an Easter egg in the back hallway that was flipped over that I used 2 seasons in a row, and I wanted to use it. So I figured if I can make a Fabergé egg with it, I can still use it instead of making another Easter egg or Bugs Bunny again or something like that. You know?
But I know he made the Orr family birthday reunion cake, and then you also made George Orr's birthday cake the summer before that, and you did a tremendous amount of research because everything was so authentic down to the mustache.
Yeah, I don't want to do Orr no more.
No Orr
I'm
more.
just kidding.
No more Orr. Okay, I promise you we won't have to do that. Now, where is this going?
This is going to be going to the Mary C. Foundation
The Mary C.
for is it a cancer coming up? Or,
I think it's American Cancer Society benefit.
Cancer
Yeah.
benefit in February.
Well, that's one of our community sponsors, our partners rather, at IP, and we work very closely with them, and we do the chocolate ball.
And I might as well shoot a line for them also because we're going to be having chefs from all over the coast compete, and they're going to be receiving gift certificates and prizes out to dinner and stuff like that. We'll be having a celebrity chef in from New Orleans. Each chef's going to bring a showpiece or something like that to be donated off. And it's going to be a real good time come February. I think 4th, huh?
Yeah, around the
February
4th.
Yeah.
Unless the date changes, of course, that's always
Which is
susceptible to
true.
change, but we will certainly let you know that.
So-
And you can come and see George's Fabergé egg in person at the Mary C. O'Keefe Cultural Center in Ocean Springs. Now, what other, do you dream about these things at night?
No,
I know
when
you're.
I walk out of here, I forget about everything here.
What about our gingerbread village for the holidays?
We did a huge one last year, but this year we're going to scale it down a little bit. It's going to be on the first floor on one of the center tables across from Infusion. And we're going to have a train going around with a church and little
wow.
villages and
Unbelievable.
hardware and stuff like that. You know, it's going to be very cute.
So
It'll be out right after Thanksgiving.
So if you're thinking about doing something incredibly wonderful and enchanting for your children this holiday season, you can come right down to IP and see George Cook's Gingerbread Village, all made by this man alone.
Not just my village. We have a lot of people helping me.
Okay, it takes a village, doesn't it?
It takes a village to build a city. Yeah.
It does. And we're going to be right back with more Art Beat. We're going to meet the executive chef of IP right after this message.
Thank you.
White chocolate macadamia cookie, the favorite. People ask for it all the time. Never can run out of this.
While you're watching Art Beat, and earlier I told you I was eating a bit of Art Beat, but isn't it wonderful to see the head pastry chef eating his own favorite cookies right here at IP Bakery?
It's also
It
my
must be
favorite
good.
cookie.
It's your favorite
It
cookie.
is,
It's my
it
look.
is.
All cookies are my favorite. And I'm standing here with my very good friend, Chef Chris Poplin, the executive chef of IP, another award-winning executive chef here at IP. So proud of everything that we do, but I have to tell you, you know, I love this bakery. And do you feel it really plays an instrumental role in everyone's life like it does in mine?
Well, it definitely does. I mean, I definitely have a sweet tooth like most of America. And these guys are the finest team I've ever worked with. They do such amazing pastries, items, cookies. We
Yes,
do wedding
they do.
cakes. I mean, they have created stuff that I didn't even know you could make out of sugar and pastillage and all sorts of things. They're
I wonder
really
what
fantastic.
Fabergé would think of the egg that George created.
I think they try and sell it.
I
do.
think they do for about 23 million, the same as the other one went for. Well, I have to tell you, you're surrounded by really award-winning people that have done remarkable things in the arts here with culinary arts. I mean, how did you put this team together, Chris?
Well, I think I was pretty fortunate to have after the storm the right people applying, and everybody that we have here on the team wants to be the best. They push for it, they strive for it, and I give all the credit to the team. They're the ones that are doing it day in and day out, and they make all of us look fantastic.
Well, we have Kelly and Jasmine making cookies, and then there's Isaac, and is it Tom, I think, over there creating things. So there's just a lot of energy, and Alfred was telling us that this bakery is literally open 24 hours a day.
It is. It never stops. It doesn't even have light switches on the walls. The lights go on, the ovens stay on. They really, depending on what shift you come in here, is what they're going to be doing. Late night graveyard shift. They're doing all the breads for the next morning. You come in earlier in the morning, and they're doing the pastries and desserts and stuff for the evening. It's really fun to watch. It's got its own pulse. It never ever stops.
Oh, it's like a toy store, you know, people creating things like at Christmas at the North Pole or something. Well, we work for a very wonderful taskmaster that is very involved in health. And we have a fitness center here on property, and it's a good thing because after you visit the bakery, you need to go and work out there. But so how does that, in the spectrum of all this healthy eating, fit into what we're doing here at IP?
Well, I would think moderation is really the key.
Absolutely.
As you said earlier, Chef Alfred had one of his favorite cookies, and one of them is the key, not having 3 or 4 or 5, but everything in moderation is fine.
Yeah.
As long as you don't overdo it, and that's why a lot of our desserts, not necessarily these here, but the ones in the buffet, we make small, so you can get a little bit of more tasting portions as opposed to just filling up on desserts.
And of course, there's also the sugarless ones.
Absolutely, yes.
So we're very, very keen on making sure that people can watch their diets when they are here.
Yes,
So.
and we have a wide variety of sugarless desserts, or sugar-free as we call it.
Well, if you, I know you've had a great vision with us being involved with the Mary C. and the fact that the culinary arts are so important, but there are a lot of young people that watch the show. What would you tell them if they wanted to enter into this world of creativity that is yours?
Well, I would say you need to do well in school, stay in school, work hard, and believe it or not, the studies that you think may not matter, we use every day. Computers, math, all sorts of things. It's not just about cooking. When you move up to the chef level or Alfred's level or George's level, Kelly's level, you have to learn how to manage people and supervise people and order food. And bottom line with any food and beverage is you need to be profitable. You need to make money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is an amazing interactive business that takes all those many tasks to put together. People think that we just do 1 or 2 things here in the casino, but it's truly a village of talented people, and
Yes.
this is simply one department. So, do you think that I could have a pumpkin cookie
I suppose, sure.
before the segment
Sure,
ends?
we'll allow you.
All right. We're going to go to a break right after this. You're going to watch me munch down on this cookie. Thank you, Chef Chris.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
You've been watching Artbeat, and we're right here at the IP Back Bay Buffet, where the finished product of all that work back there in the bakery is placed right here. And my guest right now is Paul Nemo. You are the head chef here at the Back Bay Buffet.
That's correct.
Yeah, boy. How often do you have to replace those desserts?
Those desserts, that's constant all
Is
day
it
long.
constant?
People are eating them.
So is it safe to say people are not watching their sugar intake, really?
Oh, no.
That's okay, though. So what do you think the most popular dessert is?
Well, they're all pretty popular. Probably the most popular, people like our pralines, they like the cannolis. And of course, everybody loves the variety of cheesecakes that
The
we serve.
cheesecakes, is that what Patricia just brought in, huh?
Yes.
She just brought the cheesecake in, and it's
brought
so beautiful. So you have to replace those how often, would you say?
Oh, all day long.
All day long.
All day. They don't last long.
Now, and you say the most popular among the desserts, among the cookies and the cakes, is still the cheesecake.
Still the cheesecake.
Well, there are tons of cream cheese being used in this facility. Were you aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever go back there to check on them?
I've been known to stop by the bakery every now and then. And
I've
see
heard that
what's
other
going
employees
on.
do the same thing. Am I going to have a free pass from now on to go back up in there?
Of course you can.
Yeah. So, what do you find though? That is there like the children love the cookies and the older people love the pies or the cakes, or what do you think?
I see a lot of plates of desserts going out of here all day long. People seem to love everything.
Now, what about our ice cream?
Ice cream? We do hand-dipped ice cream here.
Hand-dipped ice cream. Yeah.
Several varieties of ice cream. They can hand dip, put their own toppings. We have chocolate fountains that go all evening. They can drizzle that on top of the ice cream.
Well, now, when you say chocolate fountains, it's white chocolate and the dark chocolate?
And yes, ma'am. On the weekends, we do the white and the dark chocolate.
Ooh, that's my favorite. So it's just oozing with white chocolate on one side and then dark chocolate on the other side, right? Yeah. So, what would you urge people here to try first when they come to the Back Bay Buffet, as far as the dessert creations are
As
concerned?
far as the dessert creation, well, if they still have room for dessert, of course we'd want them to try a variety of things that we have here. We do a lot of little bars and smaller portions so that they can do that variety if they like to. And of course we've got the old standards, the cheesecakes and pies and cakes that they can have as
Now, we
well.
were watching how meticulously you were placing those. It is like an art form, no doubt, isn't it? It is. It truly is.
It's kind of futile.
It's futile because people are coming and just rummaging through there, right?
Right.
Well, you know, you have to come down here to the Back Bay Buffet, and he's right, Paul is right. If you have room for dessert, you have to try our outstanding cheesecake. Obviously, we're using tons of cream cheese, as you heard earlier, and try everything here at the Back Bay Buffet because it certainly is delicious. Thank you, Paul. We're so happy to have you, and we'll be back with more Art Beat right after this.
Okay.
This Art Beat has been like a dream come true. Wait a minute, George is back. Okay, come on over. Come on.
Oh, okay.
What have you got in that box?
I brought some nice desserts for these
What
guys
is
to
it?
take home with them.
For these guys? Okay, guys, come on down. I was going to say it's like a dream, but this is Doug Mansfield, and this is my buddy Austin over here, and Phil Richardson is shooting, and look what you get to take home from the IP. Wow. Do I get one too? You've been watching Art Beat at the IP Casino Resort and Spa, and we have been eating cookies and pastries like you would not believe.
They've been
Look
great.
amazing.
They've been great.
Oh my God. Here,
It's
take a
gonna
look at
cost you.
this one. Yeah. Oh, I can't even pick it up. It's so yummy. I'm just going to leave it in there. Yeah. Join us next week. We'll be back with more food, I hope.
Very good.
Okay.